Hi DI team, this is Kiara, and I am giving information about the 2018 PL Summit Design Challenge. As you can tell, this is my first screencast ever, so hold tight and good luck to all of us. So just as a reminder, the design challenges take place on the last day of the summit, Friday, May 4th, during session 4, which is from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Many of the DI team are leading the design challenges. You can see your assignments here. Drea, Janice, Brittany, Nikki, Daniel, Sima, Marcus, Megan, Gabby, Ashley, and Kiara are all leading design challenges. Each topic will be in a room that has a capacity of up to 60 people. So the goal of this screencast is to give you all the information you need to prepare for your design challenge. Megan, Ashley, and I have created an internal agenda, which I will email out to everyone, that has the facilitator's notes for the session. The session's divided into 3 sections: connect, design, and commit. The first 15 minutes is a chance to provide an overview and give participants a chance to connect with their design teams. The bulk of the session is spent designing, so actually coming up with solutions to a common challenge. And the last 30 minutes is an opportunity for them to share and commit to action. You'll see on the slides for the session that we've added these red squares in the upper right-hand corner that help you as a presenter know where you need to make updates. We tried to minimize the amount of updates and also limit the amount of prep time necessary. For this session, we won't be using any agenda with participants. The agenda is solely for internal and preparation purposes. We'll just be using the slides. So to kick off the session, you'll introduce yourselves as facilitators. Review the goals of this session. We really want to help people get new ideas for these challenges that we know they might be focused on, might have been focused on for many years or months. And we also want to give them a chance to collaborate with people who they don't normally get to work with. You'll provide an overview of the session structure, the 3 parts I just mentioned, and also introduce how you're going to bring the group back together. Again, having 60 people in the room means that a lot of time could be wasted trying to get everyone's attention. So we have placed these chimes in the bottom right-hand corner to signal to the group and you as a presenter that at the end of this section, you'll be bringing the group back together. I recommend setting your phone alarm to twinkle, which is the chime, but you're welcome to use any sound effect you like to bring the group back together. The first section of Connect, you're going to give some directions to the group. So first you're going to have them form teams of 3 to 5 people. The reason we're doing this is we want to make sure that the groups are small enough that everyone can have an active role during this 90-minute session. We also want to encourage them to form design teams that are diverse, so really make sure they're working with people who aren't just from their own school or district. Before they form their design teams, you're also going to introduce the protocol for them introducing themselves to each other. So you're going to have them in their design teams each introduce themselves one by one, share their name, role, and district, and one personal connection they have to this design challenge. And you can see here you'll need to update the challenge in the orange block. After they've formed their design teams and had a chance to introduce themselves one by one, you'll use the chimes to bring the group back together. I'm toggling over to the internal agenda just so you can see there are step-by-step instructions, slide by slide, and also tentative timing for how long each of these pieces should take. So moving on to the main section of the agenda, which is design. You're going to provide a little overview before they start designing. So for today's design process, we're focusing on using the power of sketching to really help push their thinking and provide new ideas and insights about this challenge. We're also using the power of collaboration for them to have people they don't work with on a day-to-day basis provide new insights about their challenge and ideas for how they might move from where they are to where they want to be. We're going to capture these insights and use the power of collaboration and sketching in something we call an Odyssey map. This is inspired by a technique used by Stanford professors in a course called Designing Your Life, which has also been published as a book. And we've modified that protocol to use in this 90-minute session. But essentially, they'll be focused on the past, what's led them to focus on this challenge, the present, what they're currently doing, what's working and what's holding them back, and then the future, where they want to be and some pathways to get there. And this is an example of what their finished Odyssey map might look like. So on slide 11, you'll give them directions for how to start their Odyssey map. So you'll need to update the challenge and the question in the future section of this slide. But essentially, they'll be sketching out past, present, and future, and you have some guiding questions here to help them think about their past, their current state related to this challenge, and where they'd like to be. They'll have about 10 minutes to sketch, and then as you can see by the chime here, you'll pull them back together as a group. Once everyone has their individual sketches made, you'll give them instructions for how to move from their present to future state. And that's really what we're going to focus this design session on, is using the power of collaboration and sketching to provide new insights about what they could do to get from where they are to where they want to be. So you're going to give them a few directions for how to start thinking about moving from the present to future. The first is just to do what we're calling a merry-go-round, which is essentially a seated gallery walk where they'll pass their sketches from person to person in their design challenge. And as each person is looking at their design team member sketches, they'll be adding a post-it note of a potential user needs statement. So if I'm in a group with Ashley, Andrea, and Daniel, as I look at their sketches, I'll be adding a post-it note that's a potential user need statement I'm seeing as an outsider based on what's happened in their past, what's happening in their present, and where they want to be in their future. So an example of this might be our teams need a way to collaborate purposefully with new people. If I'm seeing that teams are working in silos, there's not a lot of purpose behind collaboration, this might be an insight I can provide to my teammates. After we've all had a chance to look at each other's sketches and add post-its of potential user need statements, you'll see by the chime here, you'll bring the group back together one more time. And you're going to walk them through a few additions that they'll be making to their Odyssey map. We really want to limit the amount of times we have to try to bring the group back together, so you're going to give them a few directions at this point. They're going to be adding a user need statement to their sketch based on the insights their teammates provided. They'll pick one. And they'll also be coming up with 3 pathways based on some brainstorming they're going to do that could take them from the present to the future. So here's the directions you'll give them before you send them off for some working time. First, they're going to look through all the post-it options from their teammates and select one user needs statement to focus on. They'll add this to their Odyssey map, as you can see here in teal. Second, they're going to partner up with another designer on their team and brainstorm 10 ways or more that they could meet this user need. So I'll get 4 minutes where we brainstorm around my user need, and then my partner, let's say Gabby, will have 4 minutes where she and I brainstorm for her user need. We'll record this just on a white sheet of paper, list 1 to 10, and then I'll have some time to select my 3 favorite ideas from this brainstorm, and I'll add those to my Odyssey map as pathways, as you can see here in the magenta. So you'll give them these directions and you'll send them off to have some working time uninterrupted to go through these. And you can see here I'm toggling back to the internal agenda. We think it'll take about 3 minutes to decide on their user need, 8 minutes, 4 minutes apiece to brainstorm, and then another 5 minutes to select their 3 favorite ideas and add those as pathways to their Odyssey map. And those same times are recorded here in the slide. So as the chime indicates, you'll bring the group back together for the final section, which is commit. During this time, they're going to partner up with another designer. They want to make sure it's not the same person they just brainstormed with, so that they're getting a diversity of opinions and perspectives. And each person will have 5 minutes to share their Odyssey map. So to share their user need statement and their pathways. And then as a result of these conversations, they'll add some specific actions they want to take. So you can see here in the magenta border, I might want to specifically take an action to kick off the liaison program in my team, to create a passion board with Post-its in our staff break room, and to talk to Joe, my colleague, about prizes and how to implement that system. And so that's the completed Odyssey map, which they'll have another 10 minutes or so to complete. So 10 minutes to share their sketches with a partner, 5 minutes a person, and then another 10 minutes to add their actions to their map. And so that leaves 10 minutes for us to close out the final slide. And there's 2 actions we're hoping each group can take. One is we want them to check out, similar to what we do in our team and client meetings. So one by one, share how this design challenge was for them as an individual participant, and one new idea, action, or insight they're leaving with. You could also encourage them to exchange contact information if they want to continue collaborating and communicating after today. And then second, we want them to log into the SCED app, the PL Summit app, and give feedback in this session. So it's as simple as logging into the design challenge that they're participating in and providing a quick 1-minute feedback. This gives them a chance to be entered to win some sweet EE swag. So as a design challenge facilitator, you should have everything you need here in the slides and the internal agenda. We'll also be hosting a prep session on Tuesday, May 1st in the afternoon. So you'll have 30 minutes. You can partner up with your design lead partner and also ask any questions to Megan, Ashley, and myself. If you need help before then, please feel free to reach out. Happy to plan with you. And also feel free to start setting up time to prepare with your design lead facilitator.